Hello and welcome to the PM Model Show, your weekly roundup of all what's new and the gossip from the modelling world. How are we doing then, guys? All good?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Not too bad at all.
Very well.
It's haircut 100, as in
We're all
100%. Look at that. They've all been sheared yesterday.
It wasn't planned that we were both getting haircuts on the same day, but we ended up both.
And not the same place. I need
Yeah, not
to
the
ask
same
Steve.
place.
We were at different hairdressers.
Yes.
But yeah.
Matt gets a cup of tea and a head massage. Andy gets someone's thigh round his neck. Just £3. There you go.
Yes.
So, yeah. Very good. Anyway, apart from that, how are we doing? Is it busy in the store?
It has been.
It has been really busy, yeah.
From Friday to literally, obviously, because we'll talk about it in a minute, but obviously your stuff coming back in as well. Yeah, it's been really busy. So, which is for us a bit odd because it's that week of the month that's normally quiet because it's in paydays. So it's nice. It's been really nice as well. So yes, thanks for everybody for who's been buying.
Good job. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So, should we start off just by having a look? Because obviously we know not a lot's happened, but we can have a quick scoot into the bits over here. As I said, we've got the Infinity Models Curtis Helldiver, which we spoke about. That's in.
Which one will be sending its way to you shortly.
Yeah. So we'll do a review of that. That's the one we've spoken about it a lot before, so go back and watch other shows. But basically, it's the cut down version of the HPH resin one. So it's got all the niceties of plastic and working with styrene with the detail of resins in there. And as we know, there is aftermarket available stuff to really update it as well in there. Unfortunately, it looks like we're out of EJ Phantoms at the moment.
Yeah, they're going that fast.
Absolutely. Yeah. The other big thing is obviously the Hong Kong models. Which one's that? That's the F. Flying Fortress in stock. And obviously we've got the Dornier as well. The Sabres, we've done the review on those, working our way through. Obviously the Leopards and the various things down in there. We will briefly just scratch over the Lancasters. As I said, we did the video on it. Only 10% of the order has come in. We are expecting a few more in, and we are getting them out as fast as we possibly can. So yes, they are winging their way round as well, so as you say, but they are coming in dribs and drabs. We haven't got a solid order amount came in, so they're sort of coming through as and when at the moment, but hopefully it won't be too long before we get the bulk of our order in with those ones. So yes, very good. Did we do a specials?
Yeah, we did specials on Friday, so there'll be, you can say, if you go onto those, they got updated last Friday, so they'll be running till this Friday before we change them over again. So if there's anything there you see you like,
very nice. If you want some Hornets,
yeah.
So with the Hornets as well, as you say, this particular kit is the nice one because you got the A and the B. You got the single seat and the 2-seat in the same box.
Yes.
Which is a nice little thing with that one.
It is a good early Hornet, is it not?
It is, to be honest, it's the Plus, so it's the slightly upgraded one. I think the only difference on that one, apart from the odd little lump and bump around it, is inside with a fuel gauge. As weird as it sounds, Hornets are a funny little thing, the way they went through A plus, and then C's, and then, working their way through to the EF, totally different. But those ones, you can sort of chop and change them around quite a lot down in there. But they're very nice as well for the Spanish ones and the Canadian ones.
Can you do an Aussie one in that?
Yeah, you can, but say if you're a Forum member, perfect for the
Anzacs.
Anzacs,
definitely. So those ones coming down in there. So yes, some very nice bits and pieces going down in there. And again, some of our damaged box range, as we said before.
Sold well as well. They go quick, so yeah.
So they go very quick. So as you say, what tends to happen is we get damaged box stocks in, and then we knock them out, a bit of a bargain price. All the kit's absolutely fine. And as we said before, and we've shown many times, some of the damaged boxes just look normal. It might have the odd crease, the odd little mark in it, usually on the underside as well and stuff like that. It's not like when we say a damaged box as you would think of it as being something that's been proper come from China.
If they are more damaged than just a bit of a crease, or it's fair, like some of them you can't tell at all, but if you, for example, if you click on the Italeri Fiat thing,
the big
that one, I think you were on it a second ago.
Well, that
the
one.
red car.
Alpha.
I think Alpha. Sorry, not Fiat.
I was going to say. That's
sorry. We took a photo of the box. If anything's worse than just a crease or something, we'll take a photo of the box and post it with it so you can see. But say 9 times 10 things are just like Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
You won't be bothered really normally.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless you're an avid collector and they need to be perfect,
Yes.
off the time you can't really tell. So
sometimes it's just a crease in the bottom of the box that you can't even tell, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, we've had it before where people have like often said, they've received the kit and it's like, did I get the right one? Because there's no marks on it. So if you look very closely, there'll be a small crease. Don't knock it.
Exactly. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of damage somewhere.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, the damaged stuff's in as well. So grab them because once they come and gone, that will probably be it until we get some more.
Yes.
Just in other news, we've had an attacker restock. That's all in now. You did that Monday, didn't you?
Yep.
That's all went up on Monday. Still got no varnishes though. They're still not in. Thinners is back in, and most of the paints. So if you want to get some attacker, also we had the AK, which we mentioned on Friday. AK stuff came in as well. So another restock of real colours, and yesterday was another restock of AK products because it is coming and going that quick. So we're banging another order in to keep on top of that
straight away.
Yeah, we've got like a rolling thing now. Now we know what we're doing. We've got rolling orders going through all the time. So if we're out of stock, hopefully it'll literally just be a few days, and then we'll have more stocks back in.
It was also a timing thing as well, wasn't it? Because it obviously comes from Spain. We need to know how long it takes to get, so we can plan our.
Yeah, exactly. It's normally a couple of weeks, I think, from process. From putting the order into us getting it through customs and all the bits and bobs, but. We're keeping on it. We know what we need and what's selling and everything else. So anything on the real colours that's sold out of, we'll be back in on the next order.
Yes.
Plus a top of all the other stuff as well. So yeah, all good.
But no, we've had very good feedback about the real colours. Again, it's one of those things. It's nice to get the feedback from you guys as well on how you're finding the product. Because obviously, I know me and Matt have done some testing, Andy as well, and we play with the product for a couple of months before we decide even if we're going to take it. And obviously, last year I played with the AKs. We used the Armour series of ones, and obviously I used the Air series as ones. Matt's been playing with other stuff as well. So it's nice to get the feedback. So I know if you've seen it, but on the Flory Models forum, one of the guys who's first time user of it was very impressed.
Yeah.
So, and like he was saying, it's one of those things. Paint is paint, but there's paint that's proper good.
Yeah.
So
you want it to work.
Yeah, that's it. You want hassle-free at the end of the day painting.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely. So obviously with the real colours now that we're stocking and all the bits and pieces, it's nice, as I say, to be proved right for once. So everyone said, you said it would do this. Well, it does for me. That's my answer. But yeah, no, it's good when we get the feedback from you guys as well, saying how much you're enjoying the product and you like it, and then obviously it's good stuff. Good.
So just talking of AK, I've managed to get my little guy together because he's going up as a video build.
Yes.
So doing some video recording yesterday.
Some dragon.
No. Let me finish my sentence. He is a dragon kit, but the AK part is. The last order that came in, I got some Gen 3 primers to test, and also some Gen 3 colours. Now I've been testing them off camera, as the guys have seen with a bust I've done. I'll show it probably Friday. But I've actually got some sets coming to paint this in, so it's going to be fully Gen 3 primer and top coat, shall we say, whatever he's wearing, camo and everything else. So that's going to be on video. I'm doing a video series on it and see how I go on with it and how it works basically.
Yeah.
Remember that Phil said that we tested the AK real colours before we had them in to make sure they were right.
On what? On what?
Well, we just tested them out before they came in.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I've done it, and you've tested it, didn't you? You did your book system in some.
Yeah, I did the book missile system for the armour colours, because the armour ones are they're different. They're flat. I mean, proper flat. But I used it with rapid thinners, and I tell you, I do in a tight camo pattern like that one's got. It's got the tricolour camo system onto it, and it's a joy to spray. It's no stop-start, no spit in, and then obviously I use the Air series on the tiny 72nd Hurricane, very impressed with it. It goes down beautifully, and as well, we used it with masking, and there's no bleed with it or anything else like that. It's one of those ones where, you know, let's face it, we've spoken about it a lot. Paint manufacturers say theirs is the latest and greatest. They all say it, but actually that's a good one, and it is a very nice crossover one as well. It's one of those sort of, you know, synthetic, what I call lacquers. It's technically a lacquer paint, but you know, it's masquerading as a sort of an acrylic, but again, it's got very good pigment and coverage. It's quite thick stuff. You can thin it a lot, and I thin it probably standard now at like 70%. So, and this is a quick question, which I know has nothing to do with day, but it's something I found with this thing.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've sprayed Tamiya acrylics in probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So I sprayed this with rapid drying thinners.
Yeah.
So I mixed up the paint, bearing in mind it's a brand new bottle as well, because I had it off of you guys, because I didn't have this colour.
Yeah.
So shook it up, mixed it, went to spray it, didn't like it. It was really thick. So I was like, Jesus. So I'd already filled up my colour cut in my usual way. So it's about a 60-40 mix. So it's like 60% thinners, 40% paint. And it's on camera, and you'll see this on the video build. And I go to spray it, and you can hear it. It's literally physically wheezing my airbrush. So I had to tip a bit out of the colour cut, re-thinned it. So I put more thinners in, did it, started to spray, but when it was going on really quite thick, as in it was textured, you know, it wasn't going on wet. So anyway, tip a bit more out and put more rapid drying thinners into it, and then literally sprayed beautifully. But I reckon this is probably 25% paint, minimum, maybe 20% paint.
Right.
So I don't know if this was because I haven't done it for ages, I don't know if that's something to do with rapid drying thinners versus using retarded thinners like I normally do. Because it was that thing, I was trying to spray it, I couldn't, it was really, really thick. It covered fantastically, yeah, it actually covered, this has got grey primer underneath this thing, but it covered it absolutely fine, and the details all come through, and it's pin sharp and all the rest of it, and it is beautifully smooth. You know, there's no texture to that whatsoever, even in all the joints, and it went down really well. But I was wondering, is this because it's using a rapid drying thinner over a retarded thinner?
Could be, I don't know, to be honest.
Because I haven't used it for so long, literally for so long. I've been using lacquers, but for some reason, talk about bang for buck, because I've sprayed the entire of this, you know, for literally no paint whatsoever. You know, but it went down, and it's down on there, and it's absolutely gorgeous, no problem at all. It's just that normally I would thin probably 60-40, but this thing is probably more like 20-80 to get it to give a nice smooth. And I wasn't sure perhaps if it is the you know, the rapid drying thinners is some way affecting the paint over using a retarded. So yeah, it's just a bit weird. So what I'm going to do later on after this, we're recording this like very early today, is this afternoon I'm going to load it up with retarder on just a bit of scrap and just see if it is something to do with rapid drying thinners. Again, working beautifully well. I can't fault this whatsoever. It's turned out absolutely stunning. You know, over using retarded, and you need more thinners, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, Tamiya paint's not got thicker, has it?
Well, I don't know. It didn't feel any different, as in when I was pouring it and all the rest of it. But you know, you can see it actually came out really very, very nice on here, as you can sort of see, hopefully, with the riveting and the bits and pieces.
Yeah,
it's absolutely sharp. There's no problems with it at all. Maybe on the bottom here, you can see. So it didn't fill or anything else like that. It just went down really, really nicely, absolutely everywhere. So it's that weird thing though, that it just seemed to work differently to how I remember it, if that makes sense, you know?
Weird.
Oops, sorry,
yeah, you have to do a bit of testing and see.
Yes, I will.
But I actually ever sprayed Tamiya with rapid thinner.
No, I don't think I've done it
honest.
with rapid thinner, to be honest with you,
No, I think you know, again, it's one of those things. It's a variable that I'm so used to spraying. You know, it's like you come along, you know what your mix is going to be, and you go to spray it, and you could hear the airbrush literally sort of. It's like, right. But the thing is, I didn't want to. The air pressure was right, so I knew it needed thinning a bit. So say I had a full colour cup, so I tipped some out, add a bit of thinners, do it again, spray it, and on camera I'm like, oh, that's better. And then I'm spraying it and looking at the surface, and I can't make it look wet. It's just pepper dashing as it's going on, and I was like, Jesus. So anyway, we tip another bit out, go again, third time's a charm, and it worked beautifully. But I didn't know if it was something to do with the actual rapid drying thinners. Oh, because normally with Tamiya I'd always use retarded. you know. So obviously like self-leveling thinners and things like that, because I find they give a beautiful finish. But now I would literally have switched right the way over just using Rapid on everything. It turned out fantastic, but it was just one of those odd things that it just shows over time. We talk about paint a lot and, you know, different manufacturers use and stuff like that, and I went back old school, and it's like, I don't remember it being like this. Has Tamiya thickened their paint? Have they changed something, or is it because I'm using a different type of thinner?
It probably is the thinner, I reckon. Now you said it, it probably is, because the Tamiya don't really change from. I tell you who is changing formulations though. Mr. Colour.
Are they?
I've had another colour come in. When we had the order last week, wasn't it? Because we had another restock because we were running low on Rapid thinner and leveling thinner, but there's a couple of paints. And it was a green, and you could see the top, because I'd got an old one in, and then the new ones had come in, and I think the old one's now gone. And again, they've definitely done interior greens different, because it's now more a zinc chromate than an interior green. The old US World War II interior green is different. I think, do you know what it was? Middle stone.
Right.
It could have been middle stone actually, which is, I can't remember the number, but that lid has changed colour, which means to me, I reckon the formulation's changed, because I think that's what they're doing. Now we were looking, and there's colours that's been discontinued.
Yeah.
I think they're changing the formulations over, and that's why we can't get them, because we were going through, well, I've never known them to delete a paint.
Yeah.
And we got a new spreadsheet through from our suppliers, and there are certain colours and common colours. These aren't just obscure. You know, there's a couple on there. You'd think, yeah, I can see why that's dropped, but there's definitely some on there. You'd be thinking, well, why has that been discontinued? But I think what it is they must be changing it over to a different, like I say, a different formula, which will be a different shade and different lids. So just be aware.
They're not the only ones, because Tamiya did olive drab.
They're olive, yes.
Their olive drab's changed colour over the years, because the original ones was a more slightly browny colour.
It's more British.
Yeah, more British. Yeah, then there's that.
And now it's the US greener one than the brown one. So yeah, they have. I think. I wonder if it's a pigment thing or.
Yeah.
I don't know, because again, Tamiya's not one for changing formulations on the colours, is it?
No.
Like a notable change. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, interesting.
You'd thought with Tamiya they'd have brought out an olive drab too, wouldn't you? Or rather than changing the one that they've got, but
like AK, have 3 different flavours.
Well, they've done it with the German tricolours, haven't they? Because they bought 88, 89, 90, and they've already got like 64, 60, and 61, is it, that they used to use?
Yeah.
So they have. Yeah. Interesting. So
there's some questions. There's 79, yes. So you've got the 1941 version and then 2 versions of 1942. Who knew?
AK's got more shades of olive drab than ever.
Yeah.
At least they get a rough timeline with it of which one.
RLMO2 and whatever. Yeah. I think they've edged the bets with the different.
You've got one for Tuesday, April 1945.
Yeah, that's it, and then one for the Thursday. So
literally it is.
It was sunny on one day, it was cloudy on the other day.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay, so just with the pre-orders, I know we haven't got much going on here, so we'll just cover this before we go on to the questions. Currently, obviously, we've got up is the Special Hobby High Tech, which as we know is Edard.
Edard kit.
Yes. Well, Edard haven't released it, have they? Which is weird.
No.
Don't understand. You'd have thought Edard would have released it first and then Hobby Special Hobby get hold of it, but it's
obviously the collab there, because there's going to be the resin with that, isn't there? You get the resin stuff.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's not like Edard don't do their own resin.
No.
Is it? So don't know. Must be something in it that we'll never know or find out. But so.
But there you go. If you're into your radial one of your Tempest, very nice. Go along with your Typhoon family and all the rest of them.
Yeah, I prefer that to the Mark 5, to be honest.
Brutish.
Which I still never understand why that's a Mark 2, yet it's a later one, and the early one's a Mark 5.
Yeah, I know,
There must be a reasoning behind it, but obviously,
Well, it's a bit like the Typhoon with a radial engine, just looks like a Tempest, and it's like, Yes, they're all very close together on that one. Anyway, we have a pre-order up on that one. Recommended retail is £40.50, and we're doing it for £36.54. Are we not rounding off?
Well,
it depends on whether you want to not make it a bargain or lose the extra 54 pence. pennies matter.
Right, okay. So there we go. Anyway, that one's up on pre-order now. So if you're interested, get your name down on that one quickly. The other one is obviously the Bronco.
Yeah.
Smart looking aircraft, let's face it. And it's ICM. So good thing about that, you just know it's going to be a very straightforward build. Because actually it's quite a complicated kit, having the sort of sponsons and the various bits off of that one. So hopefully it'll be a nice straightforward kit, because they usually make them quite nice to build. So we got that one. So if you're into a Bronco, I can imagine lots of those coming out in the future. So anyway, we've got that one. £28.40 is your normal price. We're doing it for £25.50. Okay, if you're interested, stick it down below. Obviously, the Border Models one. This one's closing. Is it closed or is it closing?
Today.
It's literally closed. That is closed because we need to put in what we need. So
when this is up. People would see it'll be closed.
It'll be closed and the orders are in. But interesting. Be interesting when that comes in.
It will be interesting on that one. Coming to a SIG near you.
Yeah, I would have said so.
Doing one
on the back of something.
That's it, and that's it for the moment. That's the only ones we've got up. All the others are locked, so they're either imminently due in, or we've met our quotas and the various bits and pieces on that one.
Yeah.
So yes,
bit slow at the minute for pre-orders because of the lack of releases, I'm afraid, or what when we know things are coming. So
yes,
say
you know what'll happen. Give it another month or two. We'll have kits coming out of our ears. Because they all get released together, so that is the thing with that one, how it's going to work.
I tell you what, we haven't spoke about quickly.
What's that?
Suzuka
model show.
The model show that the model show that took place, and the lack of anything interesting. If I'm honest, I did look at the photos that somebody put online, and there weren't no there that sort of wow, that's exciting, is it? Have you seen it?
I must admit, I did have a look, and then I just got as far as all the usual slot cars from Tamiya and all the rest of it, and sort of got a bit bored. I tuned out at that point, so...
I think the fine moulds little F4s look all right.
Yeah, same second scale, aren't they?
Because they're the short nose ones, so that's Bs and stuff, as I take it, is it?
Bs and Ds, B and Ns.
But again, it's us getting older of a minute. That's the problem with fine moulds. They're not readily available over here. And I think off the stuff I did say is more for the Far East and Japan rather than the worldwide market.
Yeah, and also a lot of what was on show was stuff that we can get here that's going to Japan rather than the other way around.
Yeah, it was some Italy and Airfix and stuff. So
you do find though, Suzuka used to be the show, wasn't it? Because obviously you used to get all the stuff from the Far East and obviously it'd filter eventually over here. But you have, or certainly I found in the last few years, they're just playing to the home market. So, it's lost that sort of thing of used to like Suzuka's next month, or wonder what will be there. Tamiya used to always have, not being funny, their reps, wouldn't it, walking around with a model in their hand at the show and talking about the latest and greatest in design and what's different about it and how it's modular. And that just seems to have all died a death. Because let's face it, we've only got the Phantom really this year as far as we know to date, which should be out any minute. And again, it's not being horrible, but it's a Phantom, and they're sort of done to death by everybody in 48 scale. So although we know it would be a beautiful kit, and I'm sure, and it does look fantastic in the CAD, and from all the test shots I've seen, it does look really, really nice, but it's not an exciting...
Do you think though, actually, you've hit a point there, to be honest, which we can probably elaborate on Friday's show when we do the Friday roundup and stuff, but do you actually think now we are saturated and they are struggling for original subjects to do?
Well, in Japan they do a lot of the mech stuff, don't they? And armored suits.
I'm sort of talking more. I know what you're saying. That genre is massive over there of the mech
with
stuff
the Gunpla and all of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually talking in general, as in aircraft, tanks, cars, whatever. Because every man and his dog seems to be bringing a Phantom out at the minute for one reason or another, don't they?
It's a bit like, in reality, the aircraft scene, military aircraft, they just died to death, hasn't it? mean, what do we use now? Type 3
I know what you're saying.
F35.
The new stuff is very limited.
Whereas 20 years ago, we would have had probably
10, there is that.
10 different aircraft. The multi-role aircraft are sort of like.
Mind you, don't you think this year, and over the last few years, even armour-wise, okay, we've had another flurry of Shermans come through, because a lot of them, obviously, with moulding has improved and injection moulding techniques, so they've come along, which is great. But generally, we don't see much armour released like you used to. A few years ago, it used to be everything was coming out. And I know certain, obviously, when you get manufacturers like, like Meng and Takom, they really found their feet a few years ago, and they were releasing their catalogue, if you like. So we were seeing Tigers, Panthers, King Tigers, interior, not interior, different turrets and various things. So you had all these different kits coming down the line with that. And now they've sort of finished that genre. They've gone a little bit quiet now. It's like,
run out of subject. I tell you who is quiet as well. I think about Trumpeter.
Yeah, very.
It's just you could every month you would have 5-10 releases from Trumpeter, wouldn't you? Back a few years ago, not going back.
And it was weird and wacky stuff as well. It was stuff you'd never think a company would do.
Yeah, obviously they've run out of T80s and 90 variants to do, but do you know what I mean? But I mean, again with Hobby Boss as well. Again, they're like you're getting releases, but it's nothing like it was. No. So obviously they're either feeling the pinch, as in they're not making the sales, or obviously with the COVID thing, that's a knock-on obviously as well. But because I mean, to be fair with Trumpeter, when they brought us out, it was a little bit different. At least they've not done a Phantom or a. No. They have done 109 in 32nd, but you know what I mean. It's been a bit more. They were doing that different routes and different things that obscure, a Wyvern, and I know this is early Trumpeter, but a bit more left field.
Yeah. Yes. No, they did. They used to bring out, to be honest, a lot of like the classic British post-war aircraft, wasn't it? Which I must admit, sometimes you think, crikey, like the Whirlwind. When they released the Whirlwind back in the day, it was like, wow, I wouldn't expect that from Trumpeter, because it's not a very well-known aircraft, unless you're obviously British, but, it's not the mainstream stuff. And they did like scimitars and all stuff like that, and it was like a bit odd that they were doing things like that.
Did see the Hawks and proper like Royal Navy, early Royal Navy stuff as well, because they were the first race to bring out a Sea Fury.
Yeah.
Not a great one. I mean, the accuracy is, it's always been an issue with Trumpeter kits at best of time, but a Supermarine Spiteful always springs to mind. Well, I've never even heard of one until.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bit. That's sort of just gone a bit, hasn't it? That sort of.
But again, like I said, with modern aircraft now. There's not that many of them now. That modern tanks. I mean, who's looking forward to a Challenger 3 model?
The trouble you got though, when they're modern as they are now, they're so classified.
Yeah.
And I think companies now, whereas before they wouldn't mind a guy popping around taking a load of photos.
Yeah.
Because of how secretive they are now with them, it's like
most of the differences are like internal computer differences, aren't they?
Well, the thing is, because of the way the world is, though, I think they're really just a little bit cagey. I'm not being funny. Let's face it. Even with us, some of the things we've done as a group, at airfields and stuff, that dried up over the last few years. And I don't get invites like I used to. I used to get invites that people would pay good money to do, and I was very privileged to be able to do some really cool stuff. That just doesn't happen anymore because of security. I've been told it's literally security. You just can't get people to say, yeah, that's fine these days. And I think that's what a lot of it is with modern stuff. And as we spoke to Airfix, it's difficult getting references, isn't it, off a new current stuff anyway. And you've got licensing. By the time Boeing take their 10%.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's more licensing. With Lockheed, with the Lockheed Martin thing and Boeing and all stuff like that from the US.
Yeah.
And obviously got our thing over here, ain't you, with British aerospace stuff, is it?
We know BAE. We know Russia's clamped down on.
They've clamped down in the over there, so I bet that's a massive, becoming a massive issue as well. But talking of licensing and liveries and stuff, what do you think to the McLaren Gulf livery for the Monaco GP?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, all right.
Oh, you what? Well, I thought you're an F1 fan.
I have been a bit busy, if I'm honest, sorting other stuff out.
Media.
Yeah, I don't do social media, which doesn't help. So
have a look because it's nuts, isn't it?
Just a one-off, though. Isn't it?
It's a one-off for that race, but it's
right, fair enough.
It's a proper homage to the proper golf colours of the 60s.
Oh, is it in the blue? Is it?
Yeah, blue and orange. Yeah.
Blue and orange. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good scheme anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably belongs more on a Ford, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But yes.
It's a nice scheme. Definitely. I hope they don't crash. bit of a one if they both go out in the first lap or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's
I don't want to ever bring out a kit of it, though.
Can't they? That's the thing. Again,
Again, well, I've spoken about Formula One. Obviously, most people know me and my other half are massive Formula One fans, and she always says about, why don't you build a model of it? Only if you want a 20-year-old F1 car,
you can't get a 20-year-old from what you can from Fujimi, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure they're missing something with this.
Well, we've spoken about this with licensing. You think it would be a privilege and a good advert. You think of how much companies pay for advertising, with social media and all stuff like that, is to have their kit or car immortalised as a kit, because think of the free advertising that goes with it.
But I'm even thinking, because Tamiya were the company that used to do F1 kits.
Yeah.
So the size of Tamiya as well, it's like, they're just missing something for me. They're just completely missing a trick.
Mind you, back in the day, wasn't it, in the 70s, Tamiya sponsored one of the F1 teams, didn't they?
Yeah, it did.
Had a thing on there.
Because they did it.
It's got to be something to do with the commercial rights, hasn't it?
It is. It's all the sponsors.
New companies taking it over, haven't they?
Yeah, it is. But to me, I don't know,
So don't we need to start an energy drink company and then buy a team in it and then not pay them?
Yeah.
So didn't that happen to a certain team a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yes, PM Models will sponsor someone, Williams.
I'll tell you what, we couldn't afford to sponsor a little go-kart team. Never mind a full property.
Yes, that's it.
But yes, there is. But it would, I don't know, I thought, like you said, it'd be a privilege to have your brand stuck on a model kit.
It is, and it's going to be on all the shelves, and obviously with the show circuits and all the rest of it. That's your brand everywhere for nothing. But as I say, people are greedy these days, aren't they? I think that's what it's down to.
It is, of course. Everyone wants a piece of the pie, don't we? And there's only so much of it before it's it's unviable for companies like Tamiya, say, to actually produce a kit of said car.
Yeah, I'm sure if a company did, like Tamiya did, stump up the money and do it, they'd be allowed to do it. But how much would that then transfer as a cost to the kit?
Oh, it'd be massive.
Down to
it'd be huge, wouldn't it? Because that's what I'm saying. The cost of actually all what they'd have to pay out would not.
And also, like we've spoken about before, I was in talks many years ago, as you know, with a certain other model company, and we were discussing the problems of business, shall we say, and their biggest problem was that they used to do kits of NASCARs and things.
Yeah.
So they were saying is that, from a car's point of view, that's the easy bit, piece of cake. The trouble they've got is obviously all the advertisers, they have to approach and normally pay royalties to all them all. And if you imagine, like, NASCARs are worse than Formula One, you might have 30 sponsorship deals on a NASCAR, so you've got to go to 30 companies and get them to all agree it and to okay it, and obviously how much they want for it and everything else. And they were saying that used to be the problem. At least with F1, you might have, I don't know how many sponsors on a car that would transfer into decals and onto that, but obviously you need the royalty rights from all of those logos to be able to use them. So not good.
Not thinking because of the NASCAR, but you think with the F1 sponsors, they're big companies, aren't they? They're not little firms that are sponsoring now. These are massive corporate sponsors. So you can imagine the cost of what it's going to be for their rights to put their name on.
Can you imagine going to Ineos saying, "Can I use your thing?"
Yeah, exactly.
For 10 million.
Yeah.
Quite right. You'd think that they should be paying the model company for having their
for advertising for them.
Yeah, it's again, it's like I said, it's advertising, isn't it? So,
but that's where it's all got.
Yeah, wrong.
That's where it's all got
corporate and whatever in it. I mean, you could argue this for hours and hours. But the thing is, it's not just F1, is it? It's trickled down the line. It's like touring car. It's like Le Mans. It's, you know, it's like the endurance races, and it's the motorbikes as well. We've had it with Tamiya bikes have missing sponsors because they've not got it, you know, for the GP bikes and stuff. And it's all now anything to do with racing is kind of just dried up from the model front because of rights.
You know what it is? Corporate lawyers. If you're a corporate lawyer, it's your fault. Because that's what it is. Because I've spoken to people about this in the past who are high up in companies, and they were like, I wouldn't mind, but corporate won't go with it. Yeah. They'll want their pound of flesh out of it. But if you speak to most, like, you know, principals and like company owners and CEOs of companies and all the rest of it, they've had no problem with it. But it will never get past the people in the suits who want their cut.
Right, when we've been to actually Hobbyco's place and you go into their sort of little showroom, you know, you've got models here from Adrian Newey.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Christian Horner, isn't it, as well? It was something to do with him there who started, you know, it was more Adrian Newey there, wasn't it, to begin with? And it says, you know, and that's how he kind of got into what he does, designing cars and stuff like that, because of Tamiya model kits or F1 cars or his interest. I mean, they were quite open about it, weren't they? And, interesting, it's a really interesting thing. And, you know, from car people, you'd think, like you say, it's corporate, so it's just lawyers, isn't it?
So it is. It's lawyers and corporate. They just want their pound of flesh, isn't it, and do it.
Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame because I think
killing the hobby. We need to revolt.
Oh yeah, you could, yeah. We
need Comrade Buller on this.
Get John on it. He can have a run.
Get John on it. It'd be fine. Right. Should we do some questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, Michael says, good evening, chaps, or morning in this case, we're very early. I have to say that the grey PMM hoodies look posh. Have you thought about putting a t-shirt or hoodies with PM or the Flory Models logo in an offer to purchase?
Yes.
What's this? Yes, we have. In fact, we've just been...
Sorry, if you want the Flory Models logo on that, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to speak to my boss and she'll say no, we're charging X amount to use the logo.
You need to be paying for advertising space.
You need to be paid for space on Andy's chest.
Yes. Okay, but yeah, no, it's something that we're planning on sorting out and doing. Dave says, hi team, and I'm thinking of buying the 1-144 Minicraft KC135 kit. I have your views. Can I have your views on this manufacturer and their build quality, please? Here it is. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know where the review is, but I did review it. But we might have done it on a live show because I was that this. Because over here, this kit is how much? 60 quid or something?
It's
a lot of money.
It's expensive.
Bearing in mind, you can buy it in America for like $25-30. So, but just to put this into perspective, as I have it right here, you can see we did a review on it. Literally, this is all you get for your 60 quid. So no one moan about the cost of this type of stuff. You know, and it is horrendous. And I think that's why in the end we were like, I didn't think we did the review fully and all the rest of it, because that is ridiculous money for this kit. So yes, as for quality, it's really nice, and if you can get it cheap, no problem at all. Make sure you get the new version though. It's called the new tooled, because it's got the R tooling for the engines, so it's got the better engines. But as for recessed, it's beautiful and all the rest of it, but I think 60 quid for that is an absolute cake. Excuse my French this time in the morning, but it is really. So
you'll have to bleep that bit in editing.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll bleep that out.
But you are correct. No, you are right with the pricing of
but
that.
Yeah, that was it, because this, I paid for this as well. It literally turned up and it was like, Jesus Christ, that is silly money for that kit. You know? So yes, definitely one of those ones. It's a very nice kit, but completely overpriced. So what I would do is look around for it secondhand somewhere, or get it from somewhere else, as in like the US, because in the US we were saying, because a lot of the Flory Models members were like, we never paid that, but for some reason over here it's actually silly money. So yes, but that's the one you want. It is a nice kit, just the price is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So, but Minicraft as a rule, don't forget they do. Edard's done some reboxing of theirs because I did their B24.
Yeah, they do a Mariner as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do
Mariner,
some actually some. They're not bad stuff. It can be a little bit clunky, and the detail isn't massive, but that's because of the scale.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but yes, interesting stuff. Okay, Steve says, afternoon lads. We're getting earlier. Somebody said morning in a minute.
Yeah.
I said on the last Friday show about no clean airbrushes. Crikey, is that the smallest picture we've got in the world? I might have to try and find another photo and impose this. So actually what it looks like is that what you do? You stick your own airbrush in the back of it and just blow through that way, do you?
I've got no idea. I'm just trying to work it out myself, but I'm on that monitor on the other side of the thing, so it's not a massive picture, but it looks like an aerosol can. I don't know.
So you screw it into the...
So it looks like that's your airbrush pokes in the back, does it? So how is that no clean if you end up with bottles?
Oh, I can't see it no better. I don't know, mate. You need to look into it.
Again, this is somebody trying to reinvent the wheel, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So it looks like a siphon feed.
Right,
system.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to take some figuring out, actually, how that works, but yes.
So I
At the
don't
end of the day, the principles of an airbrush...
So what's the times 12 bit?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like needles.
So are they reusable then, or...?
No, probably just
throwaway,
Yeah, disposable needles, is it? So that's why you don't clean it. Instead of cleaning it, you throw it away. Yeah, definitely eco-friendly.
I'm going to say, yeah, it's really good for the planet.
Greta won't like that.
No. Yeah, right, okay. We'll look into that a bit more on a different show.
Yes. Yeah, definitely a weird one, though, I must admit. You know. The thing is, we've seen things like siphon feed ones before and all the rest of it, but I can't say how it says no clean if you've got to use 12 of them and you've got separate bottles for each colour.
Yeah. What
that's not an eco-friendly. Yeah, I think that's a waste.
It's just a waste, isn't it, really? For what it is to actually clean your airbrush out, it doesn't take that long, does it? Let's be honest. It's not a massive chore.
Yeah.
To blow it through when you've finished spraying.
No.
So, anyway.
And to be honest, let's face it, as we said, airbrushing, as long as you're not blowing gallons of thinners around all the rest of it, you're using such small amounts of paints and thinners and air in some ways. To be honest, that's better than it's using cans and stuff that are full of Christ knows what, and you got the can you throw away afterwards. At least with, well, Tamiya's stuff, it's glass and real colours, though some manufacturers use plastic. But even that, our new bottles, have to say, are now specially done because they're more eco-friendly than ever. So they meet all the new rules. That's why we switched.
I think half the dropper bottles are recyclable.
Yeah.
So,
but saying all that, seeing as Matt's a collector of airbrushes, I'll probably buy one anyway.
I won't. I do fancy the earless one that we always, the
can.
The big thing that we mentioned.
The rechargeable airbrush
one.
Yeah.
As in for priming, because that's what we said. We think it would be ideal for priming.
For priming, yeah, absolutely. Single colour use, yeah.
Yeah, single colour use.
Not have to mess around.
Not have to mess around. You just put your primer. You could probably leave your primer in it to a point, especially if you lack a primer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having on one of them, but I don't know about that. It's a bit gimmicky, I think. So
Anyway, so hi guys, this is from Graham, Matt, and his sidekick, aka the dynamic duo. That's it. Can you ship lacquer paints to Canada?
I don't know. We'd have to look into that for the legal thing of it. Probably can, but it's probably going to cost you because it depends which courier it's got to go with.
Also, it will depend on, won't it? Because if it's under 50ml, you can.
Yeah.
But if you order a few bottles of it, then it will have to definitely go on a specialist courier.
Yeah, but don't I didn't think individual bottles made a difference. I thought it had to be over a 50ml bottle.
I don't know these days. You know what they're like.
They have different rules for it, and I don't know if Canada's quite strict. I don't know if I can't remember if I've sent there or not. I'd have to look into it and get back to you, I think, on that, just to make sure it's all above board, because we know we've lost something not long ago to a country that I've sent to before and now we can't.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
We will get back to you on that one. No problem. Scott says, "Good afternoon, chaps. I've just seen the review bid on the new review on the new ICM Cobra. It looks good. Were you aware? I think he means aware that ICM do paints too. God, they jumped on as well, have they?
Yeah, they do. They do a set of paints.
They're selling a set of paints for this kit. What, green? They're just in olive drab.
It's very. Can I just say? I'm not saying it. It is. It's very reminiscent of Attacker paint.
Oh right.
As in the packaging, I think, and stuff. I don't know if they're in. I don't know. Just put that out there. It's very similar to them. So.
Oh right. Okay.
Hopefully we'll have them in soon.
Also, who does a 1/35th scale World War II German fuel truck tank truck? Full fuel tanker truck even. It's early.
ICM do one.
Not a tanker, I don't think. They do. I don't think anybody does. I can't think of anybody top of my head that does. The only one that might have done it would have been Italy, but I don't think they even did it. They did different versions of them. You get 48. Yeah. Don't think there is. I don't know. Again, might have to do a bit of research on that, but off the top of my head, I can't think of one.
No.
No, I can't.
Strange, you'd think they'd do one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They might do now the 109's coming out.
That's what I was thinking.
ICM or IBG or somebody like that might jump on it and actually do one.
ICM do every version of a German truck.
Yeah, they do radio backs. And I suppose, though, they've looked at it, it's like, well, a fuel truck, what's it going to go with?
Yeah.
Enough British fuel trucks, isn't there, then?
Yeah, again.
Well, now it's going to go with the Border Models 109.
But that's what I'm saying. You might get one now because of the Border Models 109 and eventually the Stuka. It makes sense then that somebody brings one out, so you've got an airfield refueler to go. But
I say you can get a British and American fuel truck, so why wouldn't one do a German one? Don't know.
All right, just looking for the next question.
Hey, is it not a Tiger tank?
It's true.
Not a Tiger one, is it?
And they run out.
This is it.
And they run out of fuel.
Okay, Dave says, you have the long-nosed Tamiya bending pliers that are out of stock. Can you get the smaller, because I have them here, length nose bending pliers?
We can't get any bending pliers because we can't get any Tamiya stock at the minute because they've got massive issues. And that's all I can say on it. So they are on back order, as in with all the Tamiya stuff, the tools, the paint, the glues, you name it, we've all got it on back order. And when they're back up and firing, hopefully we'll get them all back in. Or
we have put our order in with them.
Yeah.
So as soon as they're ready to send it to us, we'll get stuck in.
Cool.
I prefer the small ones to the big ones. Actually.
I don't like the big ones.
I was just about to say, the big ones I'd steer clear of.
Yeah, they don't.
They're bananaed on there.
They have. They either cross over.
Yeah.
They literally do that, or they do that. Yeah. So mine have as well. I can see daylight, or I can see you guys through the end gap. So the only place they're useful is at the beginning edge.
Yeah.
These ones never failed me.
I find I put photo etch in them and I have to like use my fingers to get it to line up.
Yeah.
Before you've anything, but I never bother anymore.
Yeah. Small ones have been absolutely fine. But also I have got, I don't know what I've done with them. I did mix some, didn't I? My pink ones were better. If you go to jewellery making places, they do flat ones with no teeth, because that's the thing. The only thing these long ones, is basically pliers, but there's no teeth in them. If you go to jewellery making stuff, they do it as well, where it's just flat. So when you grab hold of photo etch, you don't leave jaggedy bits and texture.
Pair of snap nose pliers, isn't it?
What I find very useful also is the photo etch tweezers. They're really strong, nice tweezers for doing very small bits of photo etch, like I was doing the other night.
Madness doing photo etch. He says as he keeps avoiding his Lancaster down there because he's got to deal with photo etch.
At least it's flat and you're just sticking it on.
Yeah, well that's a good point. There's not much bending, is there? But
No.
Photo etch is horrible, isn't it? Go on then. Carry on.
Okay, Peter says, hi PM team, I would like to know, since the India is having issues with the pandemic and Airfix makes their moulds now in India, does anybody know at the PM store when we'll have the Avro Vulcan in 72nd for sale?
Yeah, back end of the year I think it's been delayed too, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and the Chipmunk.
Yeah, they've all been shoved back. There was an announcement by Airfix, which we did speak about on one of the previous shows, wasn't it? And we listed them that have all been, everything's been delayed and pushed back. Like we said before, we don't know. This is the whole point. It's no point asking us. Literally, we will be the last to know. So it's just one of those things. Airfix can't say when it's going to be these things like any other manufacturer can, because things are just slipping at the moment. And as I say, it's pretty bad over there, so I wouldn't like to say.
I think Sin is they're the main manufacturer of the AstraZeneca vaccine, aren't they? In India, and they said on the news that they haven't been able to create any virus. They haven't been able to manufacture any for the past month because of what's going over there. I think that gives you an idea of how they would be with doing plastic model kits at the moment.
Yeah, priority. It's all about priority. So yeah, we've got no idea. They'll turn up when they turn up.
Yes. He also says, I would like to know, does the PM store have or sell detail sets for the 72nd Buccaneer from Airfix? No, we don't do that. As you said before, it would be impossible for us to stock everything. We are a small company with a bloody great warehouse full of stuff.
You can, if you want, if you PM me with anything that you want, I can see if we can get it for you and give you an idea how much it's going to cost.
Yes.
Depends on what it is,
but you guys need to find the part numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So don't think, can you give us a list of? Because otherwise, not be funny. That Andy's then, or somebody's got to go off and look it all up for you, and then come back with the price, and then you turn around and say, "No, I'm all right, thanks." And we've just lost 2 hours of our life. So, yeah. Joe says, team, good afternoon. Looking for the best choice for a 48 scale or 32nd F22 or F35 A, B, C, D, and all the rest of it for my stash. Not as concerned with cost, but with accuracy and detail.
This question.
Okay. No, we have one on the F22. F22, I say Academy is the best looking, but it's not as detailed as the Hasegawa 48 scale one. So that's what you got in 48 scale. 32nd, there isn't one. There was a prototype, which I think Revell did back in the day. Was it Monogram or something in 32nd? Oh, it's Testers, wasn't it?
I think
it was Testers. Don't buy that. That's just awful. So 48 scales, your only option for Raptors really, if you want to go bigger scales. And so I would say go Academy, get the Wolfpack aftermarket sets for it. So if you wanted to, they do the cockpit and the weapons bays and all stuff like that, and it's really, really nice. Don't bother with the metal undercarriage from it, because that's just awful. Okay, that F22 it's a little bit more difficult, because technically the only person who does a B currently is Kitty Hawk. And it's not the best kit, let's face it. It's got a few lumps and bumps that need sort of playing with, and the instructions are awful. Normal Kitty Hawk, really. But anyway, to be honest, I have seen it built. If you put the time and effort into it, it builds to something really, really nice. As for the A variant, well, there's a couple of options for that now, isn't there? We've got, in 48 scale, Meng. Again, it's pretty raised detail onto it, so you could do it that way. So it depends. If you're into that one and you just want to go with A, B, and C, you might as well just go Kitty Hawk, because Kitty Hawk is the only one who does the C and the B. A, there's a few other options around, but weirdly, I would say probably Kitty Hawk, because I still find that the Meng one's too raised.
Is that accuracy-wise as well? Because I think that's what he's more concerned about, isn't it?
Yeah, again, it depends on what's your version of accuracy, because
Exactly.
the Meng one, the raised detail, I don't think is accurate. It's too pronounced. It's so in your face. So,
can I just say, he's really asking the wrong people about accuracy.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
but yeah, I would actually say if you just wanted to go through, I would go with the Kitty Hawk ones, because B and C, they're the only people who do them anyway. A, there's a few options out there, but if you wanted them to all look the same, because otherwise you're going to go with like the main one, it's going to be really raised details on it. So yeah, difficult. There's loads of aftermarket available for them as well now. That's a nice thing as well. So you can go through and get resiny bits and stuff for the Kitty Hawk one. They do, like, somebody does the resin weapon base for them, look absolutely fantastic. So yes. So weird when you turn around and say Kitty Hawk, isn't it?
Yeah.
it is, yeah, but if that...
As I say, it's that thing. If you're worried about detail and stuff like that, it's like, again, they're not the best in the world, but you can add detail to them. But I just think if you wanted 3 aircraft to look the same, then do that way. Because honestly, if you put a Meng one next to a Kitty Hawk B and C, it's going to look odd. So, Yeah. Okay, Brian says, hi guys, how good is the Academy 135th Sherman M51? How does it compare to the Tamiya kit? I remember Matt building the Israeli M51 a while ago, but cannot seem to find any photos and cannot remember which kit he built. I'm in Canada and my local hobby shop has the Academy one for under $30 Canadian.
One's Tamiya and the other isn't.
That's it. There you go. The man's spoken.
What more do you
The
need
one
to say?
I built was the Tamiya one, and
Yeah.
I built it as the Chilean version of the M51, and that's like, it's a Tamiya kit. It's a Sherman, and it's fantastic. I've never built the Academy one, and also if you can get it, Dragon do one, an M51. I don't. Again, I've never built it, so I can't really say.
I've done the Tamiya one. Chucked loads of photo etch and full tracks on mine and everything. And it was a beautiful kit. Apparently, the Academy one is a bit of a nightmare around the gun mantlet.
All right.
I think there's a bit missing off it. I don't know whether the shrouding around it needs doing. I don't know. But yeah, it's not a very good kit. I can remember actually when I built mine, somebody on the forum was building the Academy one because it was part of a SIG or a group build, and they had to do lots of filler on and around the turret area to get it to work right, and it's not as good as the.
Yeah, I suppose for the price, though, it's under $30 Canadian. I don't know what that translates as, but
I mean, how much is?
Tamiya one's not overly expensive, I don't think, for what you get.
Yeah.
You know, and the ease of build as well. So the one I did anyway, if it answers your question, was the Tamiya one, and it's it's a good kit.
Yeah, I'd go for the Tamiya one.
There you go.
Okay. Stuart says, hi guys, I've been looking to get some scribing templates like the one that Phil used in some of his videos for a big build that I'm trying to find the coach to start. I have seen the Hasegawa ones and the U-Star ones fairly pricey, but also some others from certain auction sites going cheap. Are there any you would recommend getting? Or are they much of the same? I've had a look around the PM, but couldn't see any. Assume you haven't got them in stock. Have we not got any in stock?
We can't.
Oh no, they're out.
Source for scribing templates is one thing I wish we could actually get a source from to stock, because, you know.
Well, to be honest with you, these ones here, you know, again, people. I know you're saying about price. I've had these for over 25 years and they still work. So I think they're a bargain, seeing as I use them all the time. These are the Hasegawa. What do they call them?
Tri-tool.
Tri-tool set.
Tri-tool set.
And you've got all the normal sort of shapes and sizes and swirls to them.
Yeah.
If I go, here we go. So, you know, it's just a 3 set like this. And I think it's one of those things where, you know, you just buy it once and away you go. You know, you've got all your different shapes in there. I have got other ones, but this is the one that I always use. The reason I like it is it's very, very flexible. So it bends and conforms around stuff, and it obviously springs back. And again, occasionally, like I've got a bit of a crease in that one because there's not a lot of meat on the metal. But these ones down in here are nice. And because they're thin as well, you can get right in amongst it all. You know, but it's one of those tools where it might seem a little bit expensive, but honestly, you know, said before, buy once, buy right. That's definitely paid for itself a million times over. They say it might be even older than 25 years now. It might be nearer 30. But yeah.
It's buy cheap, buy twice as
Sorry,
well.
That's the one.
I'd just spend the money. I'd just get the Hasegawa ones. I've got Lion Raw ones. I don't know if they're available.
That's what I've got,
and they're all right. They're pretty good as well. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
But like Phil's just pointed out, they're going to last you and they're useful to have. So I would probably stay away from the cheaper ones.
Yes.
And just go for, like I say, the Hasegawa ones are brilliant ones because I've got them as well. I've got them and, like I say, the Lion Raw ones. And they're both fine. They'll both do the job.
Yeah.
So
I'd say it's not something that any of the manufacturers or suppliers we deal with do.
I'm actually surprised Master Tool have never done any, you know, because we obviously sell the Master Tool scribers and bits and bobs. I'm so surprised they've never done a set of templates for it.
Yeah.
I don't know, really bizarre. Because being part of Trumpy as well, it's not like they don't sell a lot of aircraft.
Yeah.
Or they've got them in the range, isn't it? So, yeah, baffling that. But there you go. If we ever see somebody when we actually can think, you know, who actually sell them, and we can get we'll get them in because.
Well, you thought Meng or
Somebody.
AK.
Main. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, somebody like that would do it their version.
Yeah.
Display.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. There you go. People watch this show. There you go.
We'll give you that one for free, everyone.
We'll give that for free. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. And that is us done for today. So we'll be on with you, obviously, tomorrow night live if you'd like to watch us there. But obviously the big show on Friday afternoon live between 3 and 5. And then we'll have some updates on the specials and the various things coming in. Said before, the Flory Models wash is in stock. The guys will have theirs anytime now because I've just checked delivery and it's being delivered to them. So they'll be fully up to stock with dark dirt and all your other sanders and bits and pieces as well. So they've got a huge restock up there. So's Brett over in the US as well. So they're winging their way around the world as we speak. At last, thank God.
Yeah.
Yes. Good job. Right, okie dokie then, guys. If there's nothing else, we'll call it right there. We've wasted another hour of these good people's times by yapping. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. We will see you again very soon. Don't forget, you get all your bits and pieces over at the PM Models UK.com store. So if you want to pop over there, you can get all your bits we've been talking about today. Right, happy modelling. Take care. We'll see you soon, guys. Say goodbye. Bye.